I was elected as Member of Parliament for Saku. And after that, I was appointed as Assistant Minister for Public Works. 2007-8 election, I was re-elected. And again, I was appointed as an Assistant Minister in the Ministry of Northern Kenya and other arid lands. And during that time, I received an honorary award from the late President Mwai Kibaki. And I was given the Moran Order of the Golden Heart, MGH. So my title is normally Hussein Tari Sasura, MGH. That is, I think I'm second to Mheshimiwa Atani. He has EGH. EGH is for ministers, Elder of the Golden Heart. And the President has also Elder of the Golden Heart. Mine is Moran Golden Heart of Kenya, MGH. That was the award that I was given by the President. So I served Saku constituency as an Assistant Minister until 2013 when I lost the election. And since then, I've just been doing my business in Nairobi. Although I'm there, but I've been participating in community affairs in Marsabit County, especially related to peace. We all know how our county is all about. We have been having conflicts here and there. We have been having wars all this time. So I've been involved in peace meetings in several times until this time when I decided to apply for this position. During my time in the teaching profession, I've held several positions. One, in short, people have been calling me Mr. Chairman because I was chairman examination committee. I've been very active in almost all the fields, whether it comes to academic. Where I've been, my school has been all the time top 3, all the time. And when it comes to other activities like games, competition, gymnastics, I used to train in gymnastics. I trained my team, and I've been holding cups all the time until I left the teaching profession. I've been holding that cups. Whether I was in Sololo, then I came to Saku, I was holding it. I came to Marsabit Primary, I was still holding it until I left the place. So I was chairman of sports, secretary to the sports association, chairman examination committee. Marsabit Teacher Sacco, due to mismanagement, almost went out completely. And it was when it was just on its knees that I was elected as the chairman. And I led the Marsabit Teachers Sacco against the rules and regulations of the cooperative for 10 years. The law says only 2 years to be the chairman. But the teachers said no. They had all the trust in me. I was the one who brought it from where it was on its knee to where it is. The tall building that you see, Marsabit Teacher Sacco, was part of the initiative that I had made before I left. And I only left after I joined other profession, not because I was beaten. At the same time, I was chairman KNUT. So I was chairman KNUT, chairman Teacher Sacco, and I made a very big contribution in terms of changing lives because I could handle issues. When teachers have got problems, I help them from cooperative to give them loans. I go to the DO's office to give them a better place to teach and whatever. That way I helped many. So I've held all those kind of positions due to the trust that I've had. And even when I was an MP, I've made very good contributions. And you know, in public management, the most important things are the 3 E's. Efficiency, effective, and economic use of the resources that you have. And that is what I did to my best. When I was elected, I thanked the community. And I gave them one promise. I told them I may not be able to help each one of you, but the promise I make is to make sure that I work for you. And I told them I'll pray to God that I'll not become like other politicians, to lie. And I thank God I never lied, never. I never gave a promise and it never failed. I remember when I went to Karare and I told Karare people, I will change Karare. I'll put a secondary school here, bring electricity. I was told in the meeting, Mheshimiwa, you are a liar. You are just one of the many politicians who come and lie. I told them, okay, I don't blame you. We have them like that, but time will tell. And surely, that was what I did. I built, during my time as the NP, we had only 2 secondary schools in this circle, Marsabit Boys, Moi Girls. During my first time, I built 2 secondary schools, Nakabaricha, Sasura Girls. The following year, I added 2, Gororukesa and Manyatajilo. The following year, I added 4, Karare, Sakuhai, Deribgombo, and Manyatajilo. In total, I built 8 secondary schools. Today, that forms 80% of the secondary schools in Saku, courtesy of St. Iris Asura. 80% of the students going to university, courtesy of St. Iris Asura. If I didn't build that school, when the devolution came, children from Saku wouldn't have even had any place to go. I made history by building what is called, well, the locals called the Megala Day School, which was never known in this place. That is where the world is to go. I started day school to cut down on the cost, because that is what is biting us. That is what is beating us, poverty. Poverty is what is beating us. And to come out of poverty, one, my project was education. And to do that, I've got to cut down on the school fees. And that was day school. They are only paying 5,000 shillings. And a place like Karare, where people could not even pay that, to encourage them to go to school, for 2 years, they never paid any fees. I'm the one who paid all the fees for them. And one time, all my schools, I paid all their fees. And I made sure during drought, no pastoralist was paying any money for the maintenance of the wells, for the personnel working there, or paying diesel. I've been doing all that. And I've been doing surveys for all my communities, because their livelihood is livestock. For the Borans and the Gebras, who are not even seeing eye to eye, I made sure I made the surveys all the way up to the Wajir district. I led them up to that place, went and sought audience with those people. Our animals were there, and I took food for all of them, so that they could not get any problem. I took them diesel so that they will not have any problems with them, so that they will not come and say they don't have money for it. That's how you take care of the communities and the society at large. For the Borans from here, I took all the animals to Obu, and I took with them food. I never left them. The Rendiles moved their animals all the way to Samburu district. The Samburus could not accept them. I took the leadership of the Rendiles from here, the councillor, the chief, the elders, and I had 3 vehicles. And I took all of them. I had to look for my Rendile guys from here in Samburu district, a place called Lodudukwe. They could not believe people were hunger stricken. They could not know where to head to. They are futureless. I had to give them food. And I made sure I had a meeting in Oldonyiro with the councillor, with the chiefs, just to tell them, please, these are my people. They are not tourists. They come here for survival. And if there are any issues, call me. don't go to police, I'll be there. And I took care of the Rendiles there. I took care of the Bora and the Gabras towards Wajir. I took care of every other community was taken care of. That was what I made, and I made sure, Bwana Chair, peace prevailed. I came here to the politics as a beneficiary of the war that has been ravaging us for all these years, and still it is on. And one thing I promised people, because people have been saying they lost their leaders, but I told them, you guys lost your leaders, but I lost my dear brother, so I could not go back there. That's why I stood by that, and I made peace. And unfortunately, people didn't want peace. And that's how I lost my votes.
Thank you, Honorable Sen. Thank you for your long journey. We've had you. I think we only have 1.5 hours for this session. Maybe we shall give you next time so that we may hear from you. Thank you so much. Honorable members, the floor is open for the questions to the nominee. I will start by asking you a few questions. Maybe you will give us short answer. Number one, Mr. Hussein, have you ever been convicted in any court of law in Kenya?
No, sir.
Have you ever been removed from your position, any position, maybe the district officer, the DC, head teacher, for disciplinary action?
No, sir.
How does your academic professionals and your experience relate to this work of county secretary?
I think I have all the skills and experiences. What I've gotten from there will help me to run it. If I was able to run the organizations that I've shown you, the education experience that I've shown you, the positions that I've held right from this ground. And I think the highest place I've been is the minister of this country. I think if there's anything, or I will add more, is to say that Marsabit County will be lucky to have me as a secretary, because I will enrich it with a lot of experiences and the skills that I have, which I have collected from all the institutions that I've been leading, all the way up to the minister's level.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Being a politician, a member of parliament for 2-3 terms, being an assistant minister, do you belong to any political party?
No. Now?
Now.
No.
Okay. Did you participate in last general election directly
No.
or indirectly?
No.
I hope you have voted.
Of course, voting is my right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hussein.
But I was the treasurer to ODM Kenya. I was the national treasurer 2008.
2008.
2008, yeah. I was the national treasurer for ODMK, where I was campaigning for Honorable Kalonzo.
Okay. What is your net worth?
My network is about 50 million.
50 million?
Yes.
Okay, honorable members, I will request the members of committee to ask the question which are related to him. The floor is open. Raboti?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome, Honorable Nominee.
Thank you.
Congratulations for the nomination. Maybe I have a question. If you are given this opportunity as the CS, the County Secretary, what are the possible challenges that in which way that you overcome those challenges?
Mr. Chair, There are many challenges that we are likely to face. And Marsabit County is no different from any other county government that we have in the country. The challenges, some of them cut across many counties. We have got challenges of people who don't want to work. Work ethics might not be there so much. It's a big challenge that we have across the countries. Many people don't want to work. They don't want to, to observe the professional ethics that we have. And this is a big challenge to many. And they see when changes come, they see it as a threat to their positions, to the way they are used to. So when you come and bring the changes of saying, let's work, let's do it like this, of course there will be a lot of resistance that will be there. But I believe doing a lot of capacity building within the staffing and the professionals that you have and having regular meetings will iron all those kind of changes out.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Mr. Nominee?
Yes, sir.
I have some one or two questions for you. Maybe you can note down because number one, when you look at the original certificates, you look at their status. It's not good. You will not give that this is a right certificate. What's expected of you in the case of that damage? Because I can see the damage. What's expected of you for me to satisfy these are your original certificates? Because once you have an accident somewhere or the certificate's banned, you're supposed to have at least something to prove that it's yours. Just tell us that. Number two, you have actively been involved in politics and expressed political ambition in past election. In fact, served as a member of parliament and also assistant minister. How will you ensure that the political neutrality of the office of the county secretary is not compromised because you have been a politician? That's question two. In line with that, can I continue?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, in line with that, you gave us a lot of achievements that you achieved when you have been an MBA or SACO, of which most of them are eyewitness, that they are there, it's true. And today, you will be working under instructions of another person, not you now doing the work or instructing. How will you work to ensure that the order given will not compromise your integrity, being a person who said you never lie, you do the right, you achieve, and you are given an order that will force you either to lie, to cheat, or to discriminate? How will you make sure that's not compromised? And last, you said you have been the chairman KNUT for a long time, and you achieved a lot.
Yes, sir.
To my understanding, you being the chairman of KNUT, it is your leadership that brought the regarding teachers, because your leadership was known to be one-sided. Can you tell this committee that today, given the county secretary, you will not be one-sided? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's unfortunate my certificate got burnt, my house got burnt in 2003. In fact, that's why I even don't have a lot of certificates. These ones were lucky that there are piles on it. That's why the edges got burnt and this other side survived. But in this kind of scenario, normally, if it is burnt, you just go to the police, make a statement, you get an abstract, and with that, you go to the Kenya National Examination Council, and the Kenya National Examination Council is the one which would have issued a letter. If it's needed here, then they'll write directly to you. That's the procedure for certificates. But when I went there, they said that this one is okay because at least the bigger part is authentic and it can be certified. That's why the laws are able to certify at least. But that's the procedure for it. Mr. Chairman, the other one is, since I've been in politics, how do you become politically neutral and not compromise your neutrality? You know, that's the question that he's asking. I joined politics through faith. That's the way I'm telling you, through faith. I'm not a politician as per se. That's why I left the place. If I would have been, if I wanted to be a politician throughout, I would have left that place. Because all you need to do is to lie, to steal, to eat, and eat with many other people. You will survive. Honestly, let's be very candid. But if you are straightforward and to the point, and even today why I have a lot of faith and respect within my community, because I never did those things. I've been neutral, even when I was a politician. I'm more of a manager than a politician. That's why I lost the place. So all what I'm telling you and assuring you, even the time that I was a politician, I was never biased, because I always believe in God. And if you are a Muslim and a Christian, you will pay for it dearly, especially if you are a leader, because God will question you about the position that He gave you and what you did with it. If you interfere with it negatively, you'll be punished for it. If you believe in Christianity and God, that's how it is. So I could not undertake that. So I'm very neutral as much as possible. Even when I was in politics, each community, I was the only politician who could just stand down in a baraza and tell you to ask you, give you an opportunity to ask questions. Have you ever seen any politician telling people, ask me questions? You will not get it. That's how transparent and neutral I am, because I am able to defend whatever action I've taken because I am neutral. Those are the indicators. Mr. Chairman, number 3, Mheshimiwa is asking me, if you are given an order, how are you going to be compromised? To lie or not? This position is a position that you take an oath and allegiance to the rules and regulations that you are going to work under. It's just the same way that I've taken oath. And for me as a person, as Hussein Taris Asura, I don't think I can go against that. Against the rule of law, I don't think so. I will never go against the rule of law as much as possible. Politics or no politics. That's why I lost politics. So I'm here ready again to lose politics or to lose job, because I value that, and God will answer it to that. The 4th one, Mr. Chairman, that during my tenure as KNUT chairman, I was the formation, or I helped in formation of Regabu. These are narratives which have been put there out there to spoil my name so much. During my time, how come that I was able to be the chairman of cooperative and KNUT? It rarely happens. How come that I was there if Regabu was there? Regabu was never there. Regabu came after I left the profession. That is the correction that I want to make clear. Regabu stands for Rendile, Gabra, and Burji. When I was the chairman of KNUT, my treasurer was Lufle Gambare Torder. I was with Muhammad Kamaya. I was with Daniel Dub Galgalo, who was my chairman. Are these ones not the Gabras and Rendiles? No. If anything, those are the guys who refused to be part of it with their own intentions. If God will come down and judge us, they'll be the formers and the formations and the founders of the Regabu, not me. During my time, it has never happened. I had all these guys with me. I can give you the whole lineup, and you will see that I had all the communities with me. Just the same way, if you look at even my CDF committee, I had all the communities. I never formed. So, Mr. Chairman, these are just narratives to distract to malign my name, to say that I was the formation. How can I benefit from Rigabu? Because Boran is not there. How can they make me to be the chairman of KNUT and chairman of NAT again? No, they will not. It is after I left now that formation came in and Borans were moved out of it and they had their own things. So I am not part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable
I don't have the figure right now here, but according to the research which was done I didn't know the question will come. I would have brought the actual scientific ones which came out with it anyway. But that's the perception out there. It's not what people, I just said what people have said and the scientists have brought it up. Anyway, that's all what we say always. See, that's what I was told even in Karare. I said, Manyinyi wanasiasa ni uongo tu. That is part of the opinion that they are telling us. Yeah.
Mr. Zasura,
Yes, sir.
I have two questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, can you be able to state to this committee the functions of the county secretary and how you are going to effectively execute those functions? That's number one. Number two, what are the values and the principles of public service? How will you safeguard these values? Marsabit being heterogeneous county comprising of more than 14 communities, how will you ensure the county public service reflects the diversity of this county?
Thank you. Now, functions of a CSO office, the county secretary. The county secretary is the nerve center of the county government. The county secretary is head of the public service in the county. And it is the responsibility of the county secretary to keep the minutes, to organize all the activities of the county affairs in terms of administration. The CS is answerable to the governor. So he keeps the minutes. He makes sure that administratively everything is adhered to. It's the go between the county assembly, which is the legislative arm of the government at the county level, and the executive, that all that has been passed and given out as activities from the county assembly is being undertaken. All the recommendations made by the county assembly is being undertaken by the county executives and reported back. If there are reports required, it is upon the county assembly, county secretary to make sure that one is being done. All the decisions of the county executive has to be relayed to the relevant persons and authorities by the county secretary. And any other activities as being given by the county executive will be undertaken by the county secretary. But it's the nerve center of the entire organizations and between the two arms of the government. And also, he's the one who stands between also the county government and other agencies outside the government. You have asked about the public service. It was public service?
Values.
Values. Yeah. Values and principles. Public service views and values and principles stands for high professional ethics. That's expected from these ones. And then there's the three E's that we are talking about: effective, efficient, economic use of the available resources that we have. And members of the public has to be served without impartiality. we've got to make sure that we give considerations to all the communities that we have in this place. Taking care of the gender, that's the men and women. Taking care of all the communities, the minorities, people.
As the county secretary, how do you think will be the relationship between your office as the county secretary, the public service board, and the office of the county assembly? How will you relate with the public service board and the county assembly? How important will that be, the relations? Thank you.
Madam, I really appreciate that. I'm happy to hear that at least the record shows how we performed. You asked about the relationship between those arms of the government, the county assembly, the public service board, and the executives. Public service board is an entity within the county public service board, and they mostly deal with the human resource management, the county public service board. So the relationship between all these arms of government is very vital, and it is the work of the county as a county secretary to make sure that there's smooth, mutual relationship between these arms of the government. Because one arm of the government cannot work without the other. There is interdependence, close relations that must work in tandem. One organ must work with the other one, and each institution must be respected. There must be that independence. That's what the devolution gave us, that independence, that there must be accountability, that there must be transparency for whatever. So once separation of powers has to be there between the executive and the county assembly, even in terms of the public service board, that's an entity on their own, and they must be given the respect for them to perform very well. So they must be all interrelated, and this has to be done by the county secretary to do the all go-betweens and to bring all these three arms together for effectiveness to serve the community.
Honorable Leru?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
Okay, most welcome. A police line.
And a police line.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We love you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much.
So my question is,
Yes, sir.
or my worry is, you know how hard this county government is in its operations. What skills will you use to discharge the duties of the office of the county secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know coming into a given scenario is not that easy. There are a lot of challenges. I would like to admit that. And challenges can be from different angles, from different places, from different corners of the workplace. It could be from up, from down, from the sides. But I believe, with the experience that I have, with the skills that I have, I've worked with people, different communities, and more so people from here. I've worked with the Rendiles, I've worked with the Gabras, I've worked with the Burjis, I've worked with, just name it. It is possible, given time, given the opportunity, to make the people to think like one, given the opportunity, it is very possible. I know it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's a challenge. I like challenges, but I'm giving it a trial, and I pray to God. And if you put God first, and you're able to work towards it, I think you will make it. It's just a matter of bringing people together. If there's fairness, if you want to work in this kind of a community, there must be fairness. There must be just. Because most of the issues that you see around the conflicts that we have, whether it is the county, whether it is outside the offices, it is resource-based. You see, it's resource-based. It's you getting more than me, or me getting you more than you deserve. So there has to be justice. There has to be balances. There have to be negotiations. Like what we are having now, we have problems. Some things are taken to court. Some things are done. We have to bring communities together. I remember even our president, Mheshimiwa Ruto, said when he was having meetings with the cabinet secretaries in Naivasha, let's not waste time going to court. Because going to court just will cost us. Will cost me, will cost you. Both of us will be losers. Will not get money. We'll use a lot of money. And a lot of these monies are ours. Are ours. It's yours and mine. Because we are paying the lawyers to do that. While we can still arbitrate, we can have a small committee to come up. Conflicts are there, whether you want it or not. You cannot work without conflicts because we are different human beings. Differences are there, the way you are. We are different here, the way we are seated. We are black, they are brown. So conflicts will be there. And in any workplace, conflicts are there. But the most important thing is we have to listen to each other. We have to see what is the actual things. Where do we have the problem? Identify the problem. And then sit down and say, can we come up with the solutions? Today I give you in, I give in. Tomorrow you give you in. You just say, it's just it's a matter of, today I'm having it. Tomorrow you're having it. Have this, take the other one. It has to be something like that. Today I give in you, tomorrow you give it in. And I think that way we'll be able to come up. I know challenges are there, very, very difficult. I agree with you. It's not easy. It's not easy. I accept it. But we have to work it. We cannot run away from it. This is our county. This is our place. Many people ask me, why do you have to come to the county? I say, it is my people. And I'll serve my people at any level, whatever level. Even if today you tell me you become a teacher, I will become a teacher. And I'll solve it. Because I believe in challenges. So I know it's difficult, but we'll come out of it.
Yeah. Thank you. My last question is,
Yes.
and just a general question.
Yes, sir.
How do you see this thing of CEOs which is pending before the court? That one tribe or two tribes taking everything, and other 6 tribes living in this county, paying taxes in this county, getting 0. So how do you just tell this committee, in case you take this position, how do you see this thing? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it lawful? Or is it a birthright to other tribe? Thank you.
Before you answer, nominee. Yes. Honorable Lerouk, you've asked a good question at the right time, but I'm sorry, the matter is in court. We cannot discuss the matter that is in court. And I'll protect the nominee from answering that question. Let's continue. Honorable Epice.
Thank you, Chair. Karibu sana nominee.
Okay, thank you.
It's impressive the things that we've had done for the constituency, and I must salute the pledge, and we congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
And since you have been a transformative individual, we expect you to transform the county. And my question is, in what way would you transform this county? In what way would you transform the county now from what it is to a better place? Basically, what I'm asking is, what is your plan?
Okay.
The second question.
Okay.
Second question is, how will you differentiate the powers of the chief officers to deploy county public officers and that of the county secretary? Who deploys the county public officers? Is it the county secretary or the chief officers? Thank you.
Who deploys?
Who deploys the county public officers in their work? Who deploys them? Who has the power to deploy the county public officers? Is it the chief officers or the county secretary?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your compliments. I really appreciate that. You asked me what plans do you have. One is, my plan is just to see first, the public service that we have is revamped, is re-energized, is more or less refined in terms of building the capacities of our public service, boosting their morale. I know there are several other issues that we have. How can we come up with morals that, that has gone that low, which has made our services a little bit to go down. But that one, I cannot do it alone. It has to be matched with the resources that we have. We have issues of salary delays. We have issues of allowances where it's not there. These are all issues that needs to be tackled. There are other work-related other issues in terms of not having facilities or physical structures and all this. So it's not a one-man show that I've come today and tomorrow there will be changes. It's not. But I know I form a very big key role. I play a very big role. That one I admit. A very key role. I get a listening ear. I get a supportive muscles. I am sure I'll be able to change the the running of the counties effectively. People should be given the incentives which are required for them to become very positive and energetic to work effectively as much as possible. They are given their due respect. At times, some of the things that we do, if you don't have the tools, if you don't have facilitations to go and do it, it becomes very difficult and very hard for workers to do, and it demoralizes the staff. But once we get this, and these are some of the things that we have to work together. County secretary will not work on his own. You are part of the extension, because if we say that the staffs are demoralized, that money comes from you, because you are the ones who will be passing the budget. So there have to be that interrelationship to see that this is what we need for A, B, C, D, and if the county assembly approves for us, then we'll be moving together. That's the correlation that has to be there. And this is what is not coming out very well. We are just living, at times, people think independently, that we are here as county assembly, those ones are there as executives. No, that relationship has to be there, to be seen that we depend on each other and we need each other to serve the people. Our ultimate objective is how can we serve the people effectively. So given the opportunity and given the hearing, given the muscles from all sides and whatever, we are able to do it. The chief officers, Mr. Chairman, are the counting officers. They are the counting officers. They are responsible directly to the CECs, the county executive members. They are directly answerable to the CECs, or what we call the ministers in our own counties, directly under them. That's why you can see that we have one CEC, but you may have so many CEOs under one CEC, depending on the departments. that we have in a given ministry or department that we have. So when it comes to the deployment, any deployment that we do, any deployment that we have, if it is a public service, if it's a public servant that we have the County Public Service Board. But some of those services can be delegated to the county secretary by the County Service Board. The County Service Board can delegate some of its services to the county secretary or any other given. That's according to the law. So given the opportunity, it can still be done by the county secretary.
Thank you. Honorable Ryan.
Thank you for the good work that you have done, and especially, to maintain peace between the constituent that lives in Sako constituency. I hope this will still continue in case you'll be picked as a county secretary. My question to you is for the performance of the county. The welfare of county public service is very, very important and very crucial. Please, can you tell us at least the 5 challenges facing the county public service or county public officers and ways you will address those challenges as a head of public service? That is my first question, and then I will continue with the other one. Go on, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the compliment. We have had peace, surely I've done it. Even after I left the position of MP and whatever, I've still been involved in peace meetings. And I always tell them, if there's anything related to community and you want my contributions, I'm ready, whatever it is. I don't charge anything, free. That is where I come from. And I'll be very proud to be part of a team that will bring peace or change within my community. We have different challenges within the public service in the county. I know one of it is we have problems of delayed salaries which are there. It's affecting, it's not only Marsabit County. Issues of funding is cross-cutting in the country. And if you watch clearly, even when the time the president was addressing the ministers, and even one time the governors, he accepted, he said that they are still behind in remitting money to the counties. So most of these delays that has been happening about funding within the county, most of it is happening at the national level. So it trickles down to the county. That's why you see there are a lot of problems here and there. And people have not been paid their salaries for a long time. 2, they are not paid, allowances. That's also a different thing because you have to perform. You are told to go and perform someplace. You have to do A, B, C, D. You have to travel from one area to another one. Then you are not paid allowance. You have to spend someplace. You have to eat. So these are all the challenges that we have. Another challenge equally is for the challenges that like this one now of salaries and whatever. I believe the allowances and this, if the county can come up with a program like maybe negotiating with the banks so that we can be paid by the banks on time. And the banks, can get the money when the money gets. I think that will work and will ease the suffering of the members. The same for the allowances because it's all about finances. I think that's one big thing that can be done. I believe it can be done and it can help us very much about the allowances and the salaries. The other challenge is about, I think, what we can call training within the institution itself. You don't have to go and train outside, but the public servants can be trained even within. All you need to do is just a hall like this and bring a resource person. A resource person can be even sourced from within the counties, outside the county, the county public service, so that people can be updated. You see, human resource, you must have information all the time to come up to date with the standards of what is actually happening. You have to be relevant, one, to what you are doing. How relevant are you to the duties that you are performing? How relevant are you to the updates and what we are having with the modern technology in becoming an efficient and effective public officer? That's very crucial. We don't take it, you take it for granted, and you'll just see, you just start calling people, these are just deadwoods, because they are not up to date. If I cannot use a computer, I cannot use a laptop, I cannot get information which can easily be gotten from the internet through this. These are all forms a very integral part in terms of training the public officers. So all these things combined, and it's all related to money. The training is related to money. You have to bring a trainer. Even if you want to do it indoor here, you have the hall, you have everything, but the resource person has to be gotten from outside to be trained within where the county is. And it can be done on-job training. This time you do it for this department, the other time will be done. This is very crucial. If it is not happening, then what kind of public service do you have? They are never efficient. They are never effective. They will never use even the resources that you have, economically. The resources that we have is meager. So the little that you have, if it's not enhanced through efficient training, current technologies, then you'll become obsolete. So I believe it can be done.
Okay, thank you. And maybe in relation to, there are a lot of outcry out there in relation to, promotions, that one person stays in, one job group for a long time. If you'll be lucky enough to be picked as a county secretary, how are you going to solve this issue?
I think it's one big thing, a big challenge that we have had since devolution. You see, before devolution, everything was done at the national level. And the national government had its own, system that has been there for a very long time in terms of even promoting a person from one level to another. But once the devolved units came in, I think people are just transferred there and they just sat there. Wewe unaenda kufanya kazi yako, nothing more. So uko grade A, unabaki A. Uko B, you are just there. No one cares about you. One, there's no money to pay people. These are challenges that we have to face. Promoting somebody means you must add some allowances. And how much are we willing to say that we are going to do it? Because also you as a county assembly, you have the oversight responsibility to see some of these things has to be done. It has to be pushed. But you see, we have to work together to make sure that it's being done. That's why you say you get a lot of problems here without the health sector. And many people are crying to say that, can we return it back to the national government? Just because we have never taken time to sit down, even bring a consulting. Officers are put there. That's why I'm telling you, we have to have education. Education is very important, very important. If you think it is very expensive, they say, try ignorance and you'll see how much it will cost you. So you have an officer here with his all departments and everything, but it's not specialized, it's not trained in this. And instead of just sourcing for this, it's supposed to be sourced for within the human resource, you see, to make sure that we have people resourced to update us at whatever level. Even counties, even when you came in here, you are elected, your first time, you must be inducted for you to become effective and efficient. What about the officers there? You just promote and leave people there. You just take me to the CS and you leave me there. You think I'll be that efficient? No, you've got to train me so that I become very effective. So we have to train all this. So all these trainings now will come alongside the promotion. You become trained. Once you have trained, the incentive is to promote you. You can't get promotion without training. So you cannot increase salary without training. Because what are you rewarding? Because it has to be reward and punishment, something like that. It must be carrot and whatever. So you reward somebody when you get that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You mentioned that there are 3 E's: effectiveness, efficiency, and economic the available resources.
Yes.
Now you will not be, you will get directive from the county executive
Yes.
officer.
Yes.
How are you going to make sure that the 3 E's, which is a big strength for you, will be maintained?
Thank you. I think to do that, one, I've got to use my skills that I've learned all these years. I've got to use my experience. That's why it is there. Experience of negotiation, experience of approaching somebody, experience of relating to somebody. All these things are very, very, very important. All this skill has to be used. Lobbying has to be done. It just doesn't come all on its own. You have to show somebody. You have to convince somebody. How do you convince somebody? It doesn't come. It's either somebody knows on his own, or you have to convince somebody. And that convincing means having facts. That is one. And the fact has to be accompanied by how do you approach? How do you lobby? Do you get somebody else so that we know if the chairman is there? How do you get something from the chairman? Can we have 2 or 3 people? They also agree with you. The 4 ones also agree with you. Then we go to the chairman and we say, look, this is what we have seen. If we do A, B, C, D, we can improve. These are all the lobbying and tactics that we do. If we see the things. If I can come to you as an MC and say, please, why don't you consider this? Why consider this? You know, we are not experts. We are not experts in everything. It's not that we have all the experience. We are not master of everything. We can forget. We can make a mistake as human beings. So, but all what it needs is try to bring people together and do what is there. If you can't get that, it is said, if you are given a lemon, make a lemonade. If I don't get that, what I have, I'll make use of it. If I don't have the money, I'll use the skills that I have. There are some things that I don't need money to do. See, I can train my whatever I have within that place. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Korea, yes, pass it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Hussein, I really admired the way you presented yourself.
Thank you.
And your work experience, and that's very good. And what you did to your community when you are the MP, that's great. Good job. But for us politicians, you say that we add some a bit lie. Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know what? Our people, they have got a lot of demands, and we are limited to meet their demands.
Yeah.
So we have to add a little bit chumvi to survive. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You have justified.
Yeah. But now, when you are filling the forms, I can see that from your vetting questionnaire, you did not fill the question on conflict of interest. If it arises, how will you deal with the matters conflict of interest? Now here, you know, we are living in the world of politics. Anything can come up. How are you going to defend yourself?
You know, first you have to look at the issue. What is the issue that you are dealing with? If you have if you are an interested party in an issue that is undergoing some scrutiny, or you are handling, it's always good to declare your interest and give to the others. You see, you've got to learn what is called delegations. You have to delegate to know there's somebody assisting you, there's somebody who is your deputy, there's somebody who is in charge of a department or whatever. You have to give it to somebody, and you step aside. That is what management is all about. That's all what fairness is all about. Because if there's no fairness in whatever you're doing, you're bound to get problems, my friend. But if you are fair in whatever you are doing, however people disagree with you, eventually they will agree with you that it's the fairest. So if there's any interest which is there, then you declare it and step aside and give it to somebody. But you don't delegate and leave it. You don't delegate and abdicate. You only delegate, but you don't abdicate. That is to say, you only delegate to certain levels, but at the end of the day, you are still answerable and questionable and responsible for whatever action that has been taken there, so that you don't just pass information and say, you know, I gave it to so and so for him to do it. No, you are still answerable. So you don't abdicate, but you delegate and still feel you are responsible, and you can answer by saying, I stepped aside this issue and gave it to my deputy to do it, and I trusted whatever they have done, I'm okay with it.
Thank you. Thank you. The last question? Okay.
The nominee, okay?
Yes, sir.
From your purpose, you have been aware of the human resource manual set the mandatory term of 6 years and 65 years for person with disability, or as may be described from time of the records before this committee, you have attained the age of 6 years. Are you receiving any pension from the public fund? Do you hold any remuneration position, chairperson, director, or employee of a company owned or controlled by state or the state organ?
No, I don't receive nominations from any other place, but I receive pension. This is a contractor issue. All what you are doing is not a permanent issue. A contractor is there. If you look at even cabinet secretaries, they even go to up to 75. Right now we have so many of them there. So it's not anything that will put you off, because the law accepts. It's a contract. You can do any contract with the government for that particular time.
So you say you are not receiving any remuneration, but you are
No.
receiving pension?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Bravo Hussein. We have come close to our session. I will invite you for your final remarks, maybe how you felt about this committee. But before that, one simple question. In case, maybe by any chance, this committee deny your approval, how will you handle it, both politically and legally?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think committee has been put in place for a purpose, and we must have that trust in them. If you reject, that means it's not one person rejecting. That's my belief. It's not the chairman who has rejected, then I say it's the chairman. No. I know if it is rejected, that rejection to me, the way I interpret it, is that majority rejected me. So I know it's the collective responsibility, collective decision that has been reached unanimously by the team. So it's not an individual rejection. Nothing personal. That is what I want to conclude. Likewise, if you say I've been given, I know it's not only the chair. It is the majority who has said it's yours. I believe and trust in God and the committee. So whatever decisions that you make, I'm contented with, because I presented my case. I'm one simple person who believes and trusts in systems that work. So, oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank the team through the chair for having accorded me this opportunity to be interviewed. I know there are many who have applied and didn't make it to this level. I also want to appreciate His Excellency the Governor, who has made this nomination to this level. I really appreciate his efforts. And I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity. You have been very friendly. It has been a very friendly atmosphere, well discussed. Maybe time is short. The way I have said, I love questions more than anything because you get everything when you get asked questions. Clarity comes in. I'm very thankful and say thank you. And on top of that, I'm very proud today, maybe to say, the chair was my student. And like I say, I have several other students who have been there. It's not related to this. Yeah, no. I have Sadia Araru, who was my student. Sadia was my student. I have Adan Kanano, who was my student. So I have several. I'm very proud of them because I know those are the fruits that are planted. Mr. Chair, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, honorable nominee, for your time. We have heard you. We wish you the best. And thank you so much. Now, the time is over. The sergeant at arms will lead the way out. Document, yeah. The clerk will assist you to